26th of August 2024. Finale, one of the most important music notation software of the last 3 decades, is over. Composers, songwriters, music educators, orchestrators and publishers all over the world are thinking the same thing. And now, what do we do? That's right, you may already know this if you're really into the business, but the big news at the end of this summer 2024 is that Make Music Finale is officially over. The people of Make Music have released a statement explaining that they will stop the software development and that from now on Finale won't be available for purchase. Finale has been the leading option for music notation since the first years of the 90s. At that time, music and personal computers were just meeting each other for the first time, and since then they have walked together hand in hand for over 30 years. There have been a lot of alternatives, some really convincing and successful ones. Sibelius, for example. At some point, it was like choosing between a PC and a Mac. Finale or Sibelius. At the very beginning of my composition journey, I also remember using a program called ENCORE. I don't know if any of you remember this software. If so, please write ENCORE in the comments. I really want to see if it was just me or not. Anyway, Finale or Sibelius. And then other options came out. Dorico from Steinberg, developed by the same people of Sibelius after the company was taken by Avid. I also tried Notion from PreSonus, since I use Studio One as a digital audio workstation, but I have to admit I never fell in love with it. The thing is, music notation is so complicated, and all these software have a really steep learning curve, especially when you need non-conventional writing, like in contemporary music, for example, or when you really have to polish your score to perfection for publishing purposes. Due to their complexity, these software have always been extremely expensive, and for these reasons, once you were into one of them, you tended to stay with that software like forever, and it became part of your composing ability. It was part of your own craft. Today, there's a really fascinating alternative, and of course, I'm talking about MUSESCORE, presenting itself as a real revolution in music notation software. The best thing about MUSESCORE is that it is completely free. In the very last years, it has become a valid option. Today, I want to try for the first time to write a piece of music with MUSESCORE and see what happens. I have never used it, I have never watched a tutorial. I will download it for the first time without reading the manual or googling how to do even the simplest tasks. One of the best things they say about MUSESCORE is that it has a friendly user interface. Well, let's try. Okay, the first thing we want to do is to download Mhub from the MUSESCORE website. We can log in with our Google account or we can create a new MUSESCORE account. Once we have downloaded and installed Mhub, I can see that here is where we can download not only the program itself, but also all the plugins and the additional sound libraries, which I believe are not something that we want to skip. For this experiment, I will work on a composition that I wrote last year called NOSTOS, which is a string quintet. So yes, I can download only the basic string library for now. But as I can see, there's plenty of other libraries, even third-party ones like Spitfire, which, if you don't know, is an amazing orchestral, well, not only orchestral, but an amazing British company. Their plugins are really good. They have huge libraries for orchestra, but they also have a Spitfire Labs series, which is completely free. From what I know and from what I understand, you can totally load any external VST into MUSESCORE. That's good if you already have some good sounds or if you would like to buy new ones. Okay, here we are. Nice to meet you, MUSESCORE. So I suppose we should start by creating a new score, so I will click here. Now we can choose the instruments. As I said, I will copy an existing score for string quintets, so the strings are here: violin 1, violin 2, viola, cello, and contrabass. Right. Key signature. 2 flats. Here. Minor, G minor. Okay, time signature. Title, NOSTOS. Subtitle, for string quintet. Composer, Damiano Davide. Okay. Oh yeah, I have a pickup measure. That's fine. Easy. And actually the time signature is not 4/4, but it's cut time. So I will change it here. Right. That's fine. Done. Ah, this already looks pretty good to me. Let's zoom in. Yes, the scroll wheel on my mouse works just fine. Okay, I feel pretty comfortable for now. My score is ready to be written. I think I will write one instrument at a time. Okay, a quarter note in my pickup measure, then a half note, but actually I want a dotted half note. I see a dot here. No, what? It doesn't work. I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, that's frustrating. Maybe this is for staccato. No. Let's try this one. Okay, now it's right, but it's still staccato. Too many dots here. And now it's correct. Okay. I'm doing everything manually right now. I wonder how can I do it with my keyboard? I can go left and right with the arrow keys. Yes, and up and down. Alright, so Si, La, Si, Sol, La, Fa, Sol, Mi, No, Si, Si, La, Re. That's great. Yes, the numbers are the same that in finale. So yes, I'm very used to this method. I always have my hand on the numpad on the right of my keyboard, and I select the value of the notes. So yes, 5 is the quarter note, 6 is the half note, 7 is the whole note, and going down 4 is the 8th note, 3 is the 16th note. So the center of the numpad is the quarter note, and I always have it under my fingers. Alright, I need a rest here, a quarter note rest on the downbeat. Let's see, here it is. That's good. If you have selected a half note but there's not enough room in the measure, it creates a tie to the next measure. That's really smart. Now I need a time signature change. Let's see. Okay, I drag it from here. Okay. And it's just for one measure, so I do the same thing and I go back to cut time. Perfect. Now E natural. I need an E natural. I see the symbol here. Okay, and now we got E natural. Okay, I will stop here. This is not the whole piece, of course, but I want to move on to the other instruments. Wow. How can I go back to the first page? And the contrabass too is done. Okay, very good, all the notes are there. It wasn't that fast, but I thought it would have been worse than that, honestly. Now, before we go on, I would like to hear what I've done up to this point. But first, I should set the right tempo. Tempo. Maybe I can change it here. No. Tempo, alright. Okay. No, too fast. Let me see. Yes, I'm sorry, how can I change this? No. No, properties, no, it's not here. I'm definitely missing something. Tempo, 80, no. Tempo, can't believe it, I'm really stuck here on this tempo problem. Ah, here's the scroll page, just like in Finale. Yes, and just like in Finale, yes, it's exactly the same. It's a lot easier to work on this page. You have this infinite scrolling roll from left to right, and you don't have to worry about the layout of the page. Yeah, I like it here. The staves are transparent. Nice. Okay, let's go back to my tempo problem. How can I change this tempo? I'm sorry, I really don't know how to do it. But it shouldn't be that complicated, and it really shouldn't. Here it is. I can't believe it was that simple, but I couldn't click on that before. Okay, 60, no, it should be around 40. Okay, fine. Finally, let's listen to what I have done up to this point. Ah, this is nice. Of course, I already know this music, it's not new to me. It's already been recorded, so I know exactly how it sounds. However, the humanization of the playback is not bad at all. I noticed some glissando, some portamento that I didn't write, of course. Also, the viola part is for some reason quieter than the other instruments, but overall, I think it does sound pretty good. Okay, now all the notes are there, but naturally I can't stop here. There's plenty of work to be done. Dynamics, articulations, expressions. All the things that we composers like so much. Let's put some dynamics on this music. Okay, there's everything I need here, I suppose. Let's start with piano, first violin, and also piano for the second violin. Ah, it's already adjusting. You see, the height, the space between the staves is now larger. Okay, let's move on. Piano on the viola part, cello, and contrabass. Next, a crescendo. No, not here. Okay, drag and drop. Maybe, okay. Here. Let's see if I can adjust the length this way. No. Fine. All right. Next, bowing and articulations. There it is. I see a slur. Okay. Si, no. Si, la. Si, sol. La, fa. Sol, mi. And then do. No, not here. Perfect. Okay, let's see our beautiful score. Okay, and now I want to listen again and see how all this work has affected the playback. Ready? Okay, play. Well, I have to admit, it's impressive. I don't know why, but I have always seen MUSESCORE as an educational tool, for sharing scores or for teaching, and I have never considered using it myself for composing. It is impressive and, more important, is easy. I have been stuck into some troubles though, like for example when I couldn't find a way to change the tempo. It was funny, although I felt stupid. Also, my right hand is hurting a little. I'm not used to manually dragging the mouse and clicking on everything. I'm sure there are plenty of keyboard shortcuts. That's part of the learning process. The note entry, however, is not hard at all, and within a very few minutes I have learned what I needed. Choosing the value of a note, accidentals, dotted notes, ties, time signatures, expressions, articulations, dynamics, and so on. How does it sound? Well, extremely good. The humanization of the playback is good and it gives you a very good idea what it will sound like. It was strange for me because since this piece has already been recorded for real and with real musicians, in my mind I have a perfect idea, and listening to MUSESCORE playback, I wasn't disappointed at all. If I look at the final PDF, the score has a pleasant aesthetic. The predefined text font is beautiful. I like it more than the Maestro times of Finale, for example. I like the fact that the staves automatically adjust the space between them when you input some articulation item or some expression. In my conclusion, I have to say that for this experiment, I was copying an existing score. And by the way, I will put some links to Nostos for string quintet in the description if you are interested. If I was to compose something from scratch, of course, it would have been harder, but for the sake of this video, I think that the experiment is valid. And then, perhaps, and I cannot say it for sure, but I believe that also Dorico, for example, where many former Finale users are migrating thanks to the very convenient deals, also Dorico is easy to use, or Sibelius, which I have never tried, or even StaffPad, which is for iPads and you use it with your Apple Pencil. The thing is, MUSESCORE is free, and to learn a new program is hard, and it takes a lot of time. Time that a composer would certainly prefer to spend on his music, rather than reading manuals and learning everything from the beginning. For me, I don't know if I will begin to use MUSESCORE from tomorrow. I have a lot of projects going on and I don't feel comfortable making the switch right now, but maybe I will do it later. Anyway, it's important to know that there's a way to save your projects from Finale, Sibelius or Dorico, and it is to export them as an XML file. And then you can import these files into MUSESCORE or into any other program. That's the future, that's where we should go in my opinion. Just like a Word file that's readable with any existing program on planet Earth, with some occasional disaster, but it's readable, or just like the USB-C connector that's finally a thing for every electronic device. XML should become the universal file that every music notation software should perfectly read. It will take some time, for sure, but I hope that it will happen. That's it, I hope you liked the video, please share your experience and tell me what software you use. If you are a Finale user, you can write what software you will choose from now on, so that we can have a little statistic. Don't forget to like the video and please consider subscribing if you haven't done it yet. Thank you so much, see you at the next one. Ciao!